So if you've been struggling with your driver lately, I'm going to give you 3 tips that are going to help improve the way you drive and hopefully drive better, hit more fairways and hit it a little longer. So the first tip is, when I see a lot of my clients and they come to me and they're driving the ball badly, one of the most common things is their shoulder alignment does not match their feet alignment. So typically, I will see someone set up with their feet aligned appropriately, and then their shoulders are out here. So my shoulders are pointing a long way left, and my feet are pointing ever so slightly left. Now, my shoulders are open to my feet. That will cause my swing path to move a little bit to the left. Now, if my swing path is moving to the left and I have a perfectly square club face at impact, it's going to mean that my club face is open to my path. Whenever the club face is open to the path, your ball is going to go to the right. It's going to slice, it's going to fade, it's going to move right. So what I would get you to do is to get comfortable in the wrong position with your shoulders, and then feel like I've put my hand on your right shoulder and I'm pushing that shoulder back 2 inches. Now, when you do that, you're going to feel that your left leg is going to move forward a little bit and your hips are turning a little bit. That's okay. Just don't make that happen. Turning your shoulders will move your hips and your knee. Be comfortable with that. But at least by doing that, we're going to set up with your shoulders, hips and feet all pointing in the same direction, and that is going to make it so much easier for you to hit better shots. Why does this happen? Well, we play the ball forward in our stance with a driver. So the further forward I move my driver, you can see what's happening. My shoulders are opening. So good players tend to accommodate that by tilting their left shoulder higher a little bit, and then we take our setup and you're okay. But the average golfer takes their grip, they get their hand on the club and they do that, which pushes the shoulders open. They then have the ball forward in their stance. So you've got all these things contributing to having shoulders really open. So if we can just get that shoulder nice and square to start with, we're just putting the odds more in your favor. Okay, the second tip that I'm going to give you is, I want to move your focus away from the golf ball. I think we're too golf ball focused when we play golf in general. When we drive, I want you to focus more on the golf tee. Because if we can hit half tee, half ball, we're giving ourselves the best chance of the ball going in the air. But I see a lot of people hitting real low worm burners, and the reason they're doing it is they're hitting up on the ball. Now, there's misinformation out there that says everyone should hit up on the ball. To a degree, everyone should hit up on the ball, but not a lot. And what I'm seeing a lot of people doing is they hit up on the ball so much, they only hit the golf ball, and when they finish their golf shot, the tee is still stuck in the grass. So they've hit up so much that they're catching the ball out of the bottom of the driver, and sometimes you might even overdo it and you just cold top it. So I want to take your focus away from that golf ball. I want you to really focus on the golf tee. So if you just get yourself on the range and have a few swings, even without the ball, just try and practice hitting and moving the tee. That was terrible. I didn't even touch the tee, but that's what I mean. Most people don't even do that. So if we change our focus to, okay, the outcome I want here is I want my golf club to touch and move the tee. So the tee has moved out of the ground and you could hear that noise. So I like you to do that a few times, and don't do it at normal speed. Slow it all down a bit. So the tee has definitely moved. It went forward somewhere. I don't know where. I'll pick that one up a bit later. But if we can focus on the golf tee, it makes it so much easier to launch the ball in the air. So now I'm going to put the ball up on the tee. My sole focus is hitting half tee, half ball. And that's a pretty good drive. I look down, the tee isn't in the ground anymore. It's moved forward. I'm in really good shape. I've hit the ball straight and I've hit the ball at decent length. So the third tip I'm going to give you today is such a common thing. When I'm playing golf with clients and members, and we get out in the golf course and someone hits a bad drive, quite often they say, oh, I got too quick on that one. I've got to take it back slower. Well, do you? What I see is people taking the club back far too slowly. So they get here and they're taking the club back really slow. They get up here and then they realize, oh, I've got to accelerate to get some power. And they accelerate with their upper body first, then the hips and then the hands, and it leads to a massively open club face and really poor timing. So I've spoken before in other videos about the kinematic sequence. And the kinematic sequence is simply the order of how our body parts move when we play sport. So if I'm going to throw a ball, the first thing that moves is my hip, second thing that moves is my shoulders, third thing that moves is my hands. If I serve in tennis, I throw the ball up, it is hip, shoulder, hands. When I see someone saying, oh, I'm swinging too quick, I've got to take it back slower, or low and slow is the common refrain, they take it back really low, really slow, they get up here and then they've got to realize, oh, I've got to get some speed up. So they start out of sequence. The shoulders lead first. What I would much prefer to do is to do the opposite. Let's take the club back a little bit faster. If we look at what the best players in the world do, can you think of any player that takes the club back slowly? There's a number of people that stop at the top and have a pause, some pause for longer than others, but I haven't seen any good player take the club back slowly. Most of them take it back at an appropriate speed. Now, I'm not saying you should rush it, but I want you to get out on the range and play around with some different timings. So with the first one, just get up here and say, I'm going to swing this back faster than I normally do. And you'll be quite surprised at what happens. That's gone quite well. Little soft draw. Now that's faster than I normally swing it, going back, but it was a good result. I see people making big mistakes because they're taking the club back too slow. So, as I said, get out on the range, practice with a few different timings. So I'm going to take this one back even faster. Still a decent shot. So that's what I get when I find someone swinging the club back slowly. I get them to take it back uncomfortably fast. Generally what happens is they hit it a bit further and they hit it a bit better. So they're the three things that I want you to focus on. And if you can really work on those three things, I think you're going to find you're going to hit the ball in the middle of the club face more often, get a bit more launch, and you're also going to hit it straighter. So if you want to improve your score, I'm going to put a link to another video just up here I know is going to help lower your score.